Welcome to the Rap Lab. Welcome to the Rap Lab.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's another Monday, so you know what that means. It's all new episode of the Rap Lab podcast. It's your man, you know me. I be controversial. I say a lot of shit that people don't agree with and don't like. And after tonight, y'all probably not gonna like me anyway. But it's me, the Candy Man, the ALFRE to the D.
What up? It's your boy, the one and only, the only one, the Rev Bob MC.
And it's just us two on this episode. Shout outs to our guy Tio and our guy QG. But they couldn't make it on the show today, so it's just me and Rev, and we decided we're gonna do something a little fun. This might be what we like to call a hater episode. People might say we hating on this and on that, because I don't think we talking about nothing positive today. But topic of today's episode is unpopular opinions, unpopular rap opinions. So we about to talk about some stuff that you the people may think that we crazy, or you may think that we some haters, or we don't know what we talking about. But pretty much, we just gonna state and discuss our opinions on things that, you know, are just unpopular opinions. So, Rev, you could kick things off. Unpopular opinion number one.
All right. One thing I know a lot of people do like, and it's well respected, and some could even say that like it helped usher in hip hop to a hard mainstream platform. I'm really not a big fan of West Coast gangster rap. Not a fan of it. I like Snoop, I like Dre, but everybody else, it just doesn't hit for me. I don't identify with that culture. I know QG is like the total opposite. He loves the West Coast, and he spoke about it on episodes before where, you know, people have mistaken him for being from the West Coast, being like his swag and like, you know, the way he carries himself and the music he listens to. And I love QG, you know, nothing against him or anything like that. But everybody else on the West Coast, like gangster rap scene, they just don't do it for me. Other than Dre and Snoop, it's just I don't know if it's go ahead.
So hold on. So no Dog Pound, no Ice Cube, no Mac 10, none of them.
See, Dog Pound's cool, you know, because I consider them like Snoop Dogg, because they are all on that album. Dr. Dre, like anybody who was there for them sessions, like I enjoyed that, you know. Early Ice Cube, not a fan of. Later Ice Cube, yeah, he diversified himself. He kind of went away from it.
Define later Ice Cube so that the people can know exactly what you're talking about. Like, are you talking about solo Ice Cube? You talking about, you know, Hollywood actor Ice Cube?
Solo Ice Cube. I'd say in like the mid to late 90s. I know early Ice Cube was very venomous, and he definitely is a good lyricist, but it's not just more so him. It's just more so everybody else in that category that nobody really speaks of. I know there's a Cam with a K from the West Coast. Not a big fan of him.
That's Ice Cube's cousin.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him. I don't, you know. Anyone else other than Dog Pound, I just don't really have an ear for. Like, if you play me something from there, like Mac 10, he's cool. It's just not my style. It's not my swag, you know.
I get you.
Yeah, Dub C too. Like, it's just a lot of you know, gang affiliation, drop-ins and all that, and I respect it and everything, but it's just not my style. It's not what I came up around. We don't do that in New York.
Okay, and you know, there's a lot of West Coast. So there's a lot of West Coast gangster artists and albums that, you know, they're landmark hip hop albums. And I know we had the Tupac and Biggie episode where you and I were on the same side when we were talking about Tupac. How you feel? So you're cool with Pac, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and it's funny. My wife just asked me too when I told her what the episode was about, and she's like, "What about Tupac?" You know, Tupac started on the East, and I wouldn't say he makes West Coast gangster music either. He wasn't really classified into that. I know there's so many other artists that I'm forgetting, like lesser name artists.
Well, to play devil's advocate though, I mean, All Eyes on Me is through and through a West Coast album, and so is Machiavelli. But
yeah, I'm actually not a big fan of the Machiavelli album. It's not one of my favorites. No, I'm not. To me, it was my least favorite one out of all of them.
Oh my goodness, we can't have no. We might get killed if we go to California. We already banned in Harlem thanks to QG. We might get so you're not a E42 short guy either, are you? You don't show
Nah,
Bay Area no love.
nah, nah. It's not for me. You won't catch that in my playlist.
Damn, if we ever get any of them Cali if we ever get any of them Cali artists on the show one day, yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work. That's like getting a Harlem rapper on the show for QG.
No, I mean, don't get it mistaken. I like West Coast music and stuff. It's just the gangster rap. It just, I mean, I'm not Dionne Warwick here or anything like that, but it's just not my style. It's not my
So
flow.
so let me ask you, what specifically do you not like about it? Is it the sound? Is it the lyrics? Is it the what exactly is it? Because a lot of that West Coast gangster rap is P Funk, G Funk.
Yeah, like that stuff. The P Funk, the G Funk is like George Clinton. I could tolerate it for a little bit, but after a while, it just becomes redundant to me.
Oh, that's an interesting. That's a very interesting take. Okay. All right. Well, everybody to each their own. All right. I guess I'll state my first one. I find, and I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this, but I find maybe about 85 to 90% of conscious rap boring.
Okay.
So here's my thing, and I've said this on this show a numerous amount of times throughout the course of so many episodes. But like, for example, the whole Brenda's got a baby thing. That's, to me, that's boring. Like, I gotta be in a certain mood to listen to certain things. So, like, for example, KRS-One is a conscious rapper. I love KRS-One. But with the exception of Criminal Minded, which is Boogie Down Productions' first album, but that technically is a gangster album. I mean, they said it themselves. They made that album gangster on purpose in efforts to get a record deal, because the plan always was to start that way and then hit them with conscious music after they got the record deal, which is what they did. But I don't know. I feel like I gotta be in a certain mood to want to be educated. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm in a happy-go-lucky mood, I don't want to hear about social causes and people being hungry and stop the violence in our neighbor. I mean, I agree with the message, but the whole stop the violence in the neighborhood, like, no. When I listen to music, especially like if I'm driving somewhere and I'm in a good mood, or I'm on my way to hang out with the homies, or whatever, going to a sporting event, I want to be pumped. I want to have a good time. I don't want to be preached to. I don't want to be educated. Like, I feel like there is a time and a place for everything. Granted, do all I listen to is gangster rap? No, and especially my upbringing and where I come from, gangster rap dominated, especially in the era that I mean, I know you and QG and T.O. are all older than me, but I'm a '90s kid, and the '90s, what type of rap was popular in the '90s? Gangster rap. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't enjoy the Commons and the Lupe Fiascos of the world, because I do, but I'll put it to you this way: you're not gonna wake up in the morning and you're not gonna wake up in the morning and eat KFC for breakfast at 9 o'clock in the morning, right? Like, it's a time and a place and a mood for everything. So the way that I feel, like, I got to be in a certain mindset to want to hear that. Like, you'll never like you rode in the car with me before going places. How many times have I put my phone on shuffle and I'll just skip 18 songs straight before I land on one that I'm in the mood to listen to? I got to be in the mood to listen to something like that. So, I mean, I know, people are going to look at me crazy, but nah, conscious rap, like, I'll go to gangster rap, I'll go to backpack rap. Yeah, but I'll even go to political rap before I go to and I know political and conscious go hand in hand, but I don't consider Public Enemy or NWA like, conscious rap, in my opinion. But I'll go to any of that before I go to conscious rap. I got to be in a certain mood to want to hear socio-economical or political messages, I mean,
Gotcha.
I know I might get labeled ignorant for that, but or sometimes I might even want to listen to rap. I want to listen to a club banger, club song. But like if I'm taking a road trip, bro, or like depending on where we going, I'm not gonna like if you tell me that somebody's really about to bump Brenda's Got a Baby on the way to the party through the speaker system with the windows down and the trunk rattling, then kudos to you. But go ahead, sir. Your second opinion.
Let's see. I got a little list here.
Uh-oh.
Lil Wayne, not a fan.
No?
Nope, not at all. There's some songs that, I mean, the guy has like, I would say thousands and thousands of songs. So of course, there'll be a couple that I like.
You know my family in New Orleans listens to this show, right?
Shout out to them. Get up on some currency, man. You know what I'm saying?
Lil Wayne is like New Orleans rap Jesus. You can't say nothing bad about that man.
Nah, man. And I'm not the only one with this opinion, man. Like
I know you, QGTO, y'all all share that sentiment about Wayne, but why do you? So you're saying he's overrated?
Yes.
Do you think he's all right? So even because somebody can be good and still be overrated.
Yes.
Do you at least think he's good?
He's good at what he does. He's not bad. I mean, what he did was phenomenal with the mixtapes and that takeover, and he was everywhere. It was his time. I can't take that away from him. He's another one though. He's just not my style. Like, he came out, and then we spoke before on episodes like with the voices and like how Kendrick does. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of people playing around on records with voices and doing robot stuff and like some of the bars he says and how he says it, and I don't really like all that. Like, I don't know. He's not a bad like rapper, but I just don't look at him as like an MC for real, because like a lyricist. And I know he has all these quotables, all these like
people quote that lasagna line all the time, bro.
And I thought that was just it was an overrated line. Like, I get it, but it just, to me, it didn't take the most brain work. A battle rapper could have came up with that.
I find that line to be so clever.
Yeah, gangster. G's moving silence like lasagna. Yeah.
I mean, he could have said 20.
But he's not bad. His whole display too, like when he like he ushered in like the whole tight pants and tattoos and piercings on his face.
I don't. He made tight jeans in 2005, 6, 7, and 8 acceptable.
Yeah, and it's prominent today. And I understand growing up, like you can't wear like the big umbrella pants. Even LeBron changed. He used to wear them pants too, and I get it. But he, the sagging, like I was saying, the tattoos and the piercings on the face and the ugly dreads, and I don't think that's cool. That's what I don't like about him either. His whole like that. He doesn't have to do that. He could have just stayed himself and still been iconic. You know what I'm saying? One could argue, oh, he's being himself. I mean, I just look at it like you're trying to get an attention. You're dressing like a weirdo to get attention, and he doesn't have to do that.
And you know what the funny thing is? He had attention before he transformed into what we know him to be as now.
Yeah, and I was gonna say he was a good rapper before he did all the robot sounds too. I didn't think he was bad when he was with the Hot Boys when he was younger. He just had a young voice. That's it. But he wasn't bad. His verses were good. He was way better than Turk. I think he actually was better than Juvenile.
Don't do that to Turk, man. Come on.
He was.
Turk just suffered from being the fourth man in the group. But don't do that to Turk, bro.
No, come on, man. We got 4 guys in our group, and we're all individuals.
Yeah, but bro, when you look at the rap groups, bro, every group has a weak member, bro. Like for NWA, it was MC Ren. God forgive me for the heat I'm about to get, but it was MC Ren for NWA. I don't really know the Bone Thugs by name, but one of them got to be the weak one. Like it was DJ Paul for 3-6 Mafia. Like bro, every rap group got a weak link. I would go on a record and try to name somebody from Wu-Tang, but you might kill me.
Yeah, there's no weak guy in Wu-Tang.
But now, I'm not saying weak, but like every group has the one guy that, he'll never be in the forefront of the group ever, no matter what happens.
Yeah, but there's a difference from being like the weak guy and the overlooked person. You know what I mean? Like
Because
with
Turk
Wu
did
Tang.
his album that they put out toward the end of the golden era of Cash Money, as I call it, Young and Thuggin' is not bad. Granted, it didn't have the features one would expect because the rest of the Hot Boys left, but Turk just he was the quiet one, man. He couldn't get the limelight.
Yeah.
Wasn't a marketable guy, but Wayne, no. I know you said you was planning a trip to New Orleans at some point. Don't go out there and say that. They'll know you from out of town. If you think I can't walk through Queensbridge, yeah, man, you can't walk through the 17th if you go around and talk about Weezy is overrated. They'll look at you like you're a foreigner, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. Do they dress like him?
No, he got that shit from Miami, bro.
Oh, okay, because I'll be looking at them like they foreigners if they dress like that.
Nah. They don't dress like that down there. But you know what? And it's funny because depending on who you talk to, some people think that Wayne is the GOAT or close to GOAT status, and other people say he's overrated. But no, I don't have an issue with Wayne. I do draw the line after the Carter 3. Actually, no, wrong. I draw the line after I Am Not a Human Being, but you know,
Yeah,
everybody.
I think my bad. I think he got too like divulge in that rock star persona too. He didn't have to do that. He should have just stayed being a rapper.
I'm gonna agree with you. That Rebirth album is one of the most trash albums I've ever heard. Like, I don't understand what went through his head to make him think that he could release a rock album. That's like Lil Wayne with the rock album is the equivalent to Michael Jordan when he went to go play baseball. In my opinion. I could be wrong, but no, I don't. And then him. The other thing that I could agree with you on, like, yo, he was doing photo shoots with the electric guitar and all that. Like, yo, this is not you, dude. You wasn't even playing the guitar. What are you holding the guitar for?
Yeah, word.
But nah, I get you. My next opinion you may not like, but and we covered this on a previous episode when we talked about New York hip hop, but I'll go ahead and say it again. I feel like New York is the hip hop hater capital of the world.
Okay.
And I say that because, well, now in the era of social media, YouTube and stuff, it's music is more accessible. But in the 80s and the 90s, back when the only way to hear stuff that wasn't from New York is if the radio had to play it or you had to go to the record store and go buy it. But historically, New York, prior to there being any, because this is also going to rub some people the wrong way, but I don't think they're outside of maybe Jay-Z, and I don't even like to count Jay-Z in what I'm about to say because, Jay-Z, for the most part, Jay-Z don't ever have to rap again. He's pretty much done. Like, we see Jay-Z come for the occasional feature, like what he did on the DMX album, but I don't see Jay-Z ever dropping another full length. He has no reason to. But There's no prominent New York rapper in the game right now. And I feel like in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, New York was only putting on for New York. You know what I mean? Like, on New York radio, if it wasn't a New York artist, then you wasn't hearing nothing on the radio. I mean, you was around, you lived it. How many times did you hear a non-New York artist on Hot 97 at the time in the 90s? Very rarely.
Very rare.
The song had to be like a mega take over the country hit in order to get the spins. And even then it was subjective to what the DJ wanted to play. You know what I mean? Like, even like, I know Funk Flex is a legend, but that nigga is the biggest fucking hater if I've ever seen one. Like and we listen to Flex. Like, if Flex don't like you, he not playing your shit.
Yeah.
If you, and especially like if you from to this day, and it seems like he'll respect you more if you're from New York. The only exception being Nas, because he was jock riding Jay-Z back in the day. But
He was.
he was. Bro, this man Flex would have never played a Nas joint back in 01, 02, 03, bro. But nah, man, I just feel like New York, like, you know, and then it's funny because I feel like once New York lost their foothold on rap, then you had I know QG not here, but you know his favorite rapper Mims came out, and now all these rappers from New York don't have New York sounds. Mims had an Atlanta sound.
Yeah.
Pop Smoke, I love Pop Smoke, God rest his soul, but he went and took British drill. He didn't have a New York sound. So
Right.
a lot of these New York cats who are newer and younger, they from Brooklyn, they from Queens, they from the Bronx, but they don't sound like they don't sound like that's where they from. I would say the last New York rapper that came out that sounded like he was from New York was Joey Badass.
Yeah, definitely Joey. Definitely Joey. I mean, there's a kid, Rome Streets. He's really good too, but he won't get like the publicity that he needs to be like a prominent artist because he's too street. But he's New York to the soul.
Right. And it's like, you know, like even Fabio Foreign. People I don't listen, I've only heard him on features. I've never heard his own song. But even he don't sound like he from New York.
Yeah. They all kind of had like that drill or South swag.
Yeah, they either drill or they sound like they from the South. So like I just don't. And you know what it is? Maybe. And you know what it is? I've spoken to people and like I've heard recently that like you know, and this coming from people from New York too. Like people just don't like boom bap no more. People just don't like that old original New York sound, the gritty sound. You know?
Yeah,
I
nowadays.
Yeah, now man, I guess we just showing our age. But nah, man, it's. I just feel like I feel like A, New York is the hated capital of the world, and B, you know, New York don't even have its own identity no more.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't tell me who any background on the artist or where he was from and put on one of their records, I wouldn't know. I couldn't tell they was from New York. Even the way that they talk, they dress, they carry themselves. It's not like you can't tell. Like, granted, a lot of people don't like Troy Ave, even though I was a huge Troy Ave fan. People don't like Troy Ave, but you know, when you hear a Troy Ave song, there is no doubt in my mind that homie is from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I get it.
yeah, the swag, the way he carried himself. Say what you want about his music. Yo, I know QG is not a Troy Ave fan because you know you bring up Troy Ave, he'll start talking about that doody doot song, but you know. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. Go ahead, Rev. What you got next?
All right. Next on the list. Dr. Dre gets more credit than he deserves.
Are you nuts?
Nope.
Wait. What do you mean more credit than he deserves?
Got a lot of ghost producers, man. Scott Scorch, as 50 would say.
Oh, I hate that guy. But no, I don't. Oh, this is hard because Dre. I feel like Dre is responsible for so much, right? Because if it's not for Dre, you don't have an Eazy-E, you don't have an Ice Cube. If it's not for Dre, you don't have a Snoop Dogg, you don't have a Corrupt, you don't have a Daz. Tupac doesn't get his biggest hit of his career without Dre. There's no Eminem without Dre.
Right.
So,
but go ahead.
And then even so, I feel like in the early days there was no Ghost production. Like when he did his most monumental work, I feel like there was no Ghost production. So, and with the Ruthless stuff, with the NWA stuff, because you know it was. I don't think it was unless you were Eric B. And I'm not trying to hate on New York, but unless you were Eric B. If you got the credit, that means you produced it. But and please don't tell me I'm hating on Eric B people. But yeah, and then even with the Death Row stuff, before Daz started producing and they brought out all these outside people, it was Dre.
Yeah, but Drake gets credit for a lot of songs that he hasn't even put his hand on. A lot of things that Daz has done that Dre had got the credit for. That's what I mean too, as far as him getting like credit and things that he really don't deserve. Because if he is just overseeing a track and is not playing no kind of instruments on it, why is he getting the credit for it? Like he has all these ghost producers too. There's Chris Taylor, who he did a YouTube video talking about it, about how he was like behind a lot of Dr. Dre's productions. You know, Daz is another one, as I mentioned, Scott Storch as well. You know, so RZA ain't never had no ghost producers, nor did DJ Premier. And they were responsible for a lot of people's career as well. But some people would hold Dr. Dre over them. And I get that, you know, he's definitely delivered hits with Snoop, with Pac and everything. But so is Preem, so is RZA. I just feel like Dre does not deserve to be higher than any of those two. And, you know, one could argue, you know, others as well, like for Q-Tip and guys, you know, more tenured in this industry. But I just feel like Dr. Dre I just don't like that he has ghost producers. And also, like, another thing is that I want to know the last time Dr. Dre has wrote his own rhymes. And people say, oh, yeah, he doesn't have to. He's all successful. But he hasn't been writing his rhymes for a long time. And then let's not talk about Detox. Where the fuck is that at? Where all the hype, everything, that was just like the biggest blue balls in the history of hip hop. That damn album.
Tupac will come back before we see Detox.
Yeah, that was a huge letdown. And I'm not letting him off the hook for that ever. Because one could say, oh, he's a perfectionist. I don't care. That's not fair to us, the listener. That's not fair to us, the fan, because, you know, we were expecting this album. They made so much of this album. Everyone who was there, who was a part of it, all these great things. But where is it? That's why, like, you know, everybody's giving this man credit, and he does good. You know, I'm not saying he's, you know, he's trash or Soulja Boy or anything like that. But like I said, show me RZA's ghost producer. Show me Primo's ghost producer. Or even RZA's ghost writer. He's not higher than that on that list, personally. And them guys.
I get you. And you know what? As far as what am I looking at? What am I looking for here? As far as, you know, Detox, how many times in rap history have we opened a CD and seen the booklet, especially on No Limit? And we talked about this when Fiend was here. But you know, how many times we see Coming Soon or Coming on This Day, and then we're like, yeah, we're gonna go get that album, and then, you know, that day comes and they push it back, and then ultimately it's canceled. You know, some of our favorite artists have suffered from that, or the album was advertised to come out in like 2001, it didn't come out till like 2009. Like Royce da 5'9" is a good example of that, with all the label politics that he's been through. Lupe's gone through it. So the Detox, I mean, well, I guess, you know, Drake controls his own destiny because he is the head of Aftermath. But, you know, so I get the frustration there. But damn, like, more credit than he should be as a producer.
Yeah.
So many iconic songs that man has produced. That one kind of hurt.
I know I'm making a lot of people mad tonight.
No, and again, this is why it's unpopular opinions, you know?
Yeah.
Like, not everybody is gonna agree. Well, I don't think anybody's gonna agree with anything that we saying tonight, but, you know, I think that's the beauty of it. But sheesh, that's you might ruffle some feathers there.
I already do with that. My uncle, on my wife's side, he's not a fan of me saying that because I say it publicly sometimes on Instagram.
Yikes. Well, you do be having the most interesting IG lives. I will admit.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can at the next, you know what? At the next Boardwalk Buds, we should get you your own what is it called? We should get you your own exhibit where you teach people how to roll. I think you'd be good at that. But I gotta talk to Chad about that. But anywho, oh, and before we forget, well, as we moving on, don't forget, people, we have entered into a partnership with Project Codename Wrestling. It's a new independent wrestling promotion based out of New Jersey. Rap Lab is sponsoring the first match that's on the card, 5-way hot start scramble match, and there's about 6 or 7 other matches on that. And we will definitely have a presence. We will have a presence at the show, so come check that out. It's in Union, New Jersey. Stay tuned to our social media for it, and the link to purchase tickets to the show will be in the episode description.
Yes, sir.
But all right, I guess it's my turn to go ahead and give another unpopular opinion. I feel like streaming has hurt hip hop culture.
Okay,
and I tell you why. I miss the era of if you wanted to hear the song, you had to go to the record store and buy the record.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I feel like because you can go platinum now off of streams, and I guess this is for the entire music industry and not just rap. But I feel like going platinum off of streams, I don't respect that. I rather you go platinum off of sales. You know what I mean? And when digital first became a thing, all right, you didn't want to buy the CD, you could have went on iTunes and purchased it, and they would have gave you a slight discount because digital will always be a little bit cheaper than the physical.
Right.
They had gave you a slight discount. And because you bought it digital, they give you like 1 or 2 bonus tracks that were iTunes exclusives, they would say. So I even respected that because, again, the consumer still had to buy. But now with Apple Music, you pay, what is it, like you pay your $9.99 a month, and I don't have nothing against it because as evidenced in our Instagram story, I'm gonna start making playlists and just uploading them to Apple Music because that's one of the. I feel like streaming is good for discovering music you may not have heard of without having to break the bank. You pay that $9.99 one time, and that's it. It's you don't pay anything more. So you get access to all that music for one price. But I could be the type, say I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm a kid, or I'm just somebody who don't care. You just go all around, you stream stuff, put something on overnight and put it on repeat, and you get like what, you sleep for 8 hours, so song is like what, 3 minutes and some change. You then got like what, 400 streams, if my math is even right. I feel like.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say what you were gonna say.
Yo, Justin Bieber did that. He actually was advertising for his fans to do that, to pretty much keep the song on repeat while they're sleeping, so the song could go to number 1. I think that's
I find that to be corny.
Yeah, I don't think that's cool.
Yeah, I find that to be insanely corny. I missed the day, and me and QG had talked about this on one of the earliest episodes when we did our physical media versus streaming episode. But I give respect to the artists that they had to wait on SoundScan numbers to figure out how well they did. You had to physically sell 500,000 records to even get the lowest accomplishment, and then you had to sell 1 million to go platinum. And some of the greatest albums of all time have gone diamond. I don't think we'll ever see anybody go diamond ever again. I don't think so. I don't think nobody's going to stream an album or let alone a song 10 million times. But I personally feel like the streaming and the digital era has cheapened music as a whole. And again, I get it. Like artists like Drake, even though when Drake came on the scene, it was at the tail end of when people were still buying CDs. But people like Drake and Kendrick and all the people that are current that we love, you know, their a lot of their accolades have been based on digital. And you know, I feel like Jay-Z didn't help things when he launched Tidal. Tidal's been around for a while. That's like what, 2014, 15? Like he didn't help things with Tidal, because now all of a sudden it created a divide. So like, for example, not everything was in one place. When Tidal first came out, and he was saying, oh, well, the artists are going to get rights to their songs. If you were a Tidal exclusive artist, like I know Jay-Z and Beyonce were like the first two, and there were a couple of others where, yeah, they were exclusive to Tidal, and then all of a sudden on Apple Music, all their music disappeared. I mean, they fixed that now, but, or even like Apple Music, like Dr. Dre, you know, the Chronic is not on Tidal at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because Dre has an exclusive deal with Apple since he's like vice president or whatever. So yeah, the Chronic is only on Apple Music. If you have Tidal, you can't listen to the Chronic. So I feel like, you know, doing things like that, you know, it's only hurtful to the consumer, because that 10-year-old kid who, you know, his uncle or his father or, you know, his grandfather even was like, yo, this is what we used to listen to when I was your age, and he can't even go on there and find it, you know, like that only hurts the consumer. It hurts the public. It don't do us no favors.
True.
Or in the case of De La Soul, which I've spoken about till I've almost had heart attacks in the past. You know, like it doesn't do anybody any good. You can't find none of their music on other than that last project they released, because they funded it on their own independent, but none of their music is up there. And again, that only hurts the people. And that's another thing, like, you know, and I'll say, you know what, matter of fact, I'll save my second point for my next unpopular opinion. Go on.
All right, cool. All right, so get back to this list here.
Number 4.
My next unpopular opinion. Dinosaur hip hop gets more credit than what it should.
What is dinosaur hip hop?
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Like the prehistoric OGs?
Yeah. Those guys are just angry old men, and it seems like they just do not want to pass the torch. And maybe I worded it wrong as far as like getting more credit. I think I kind of copied off the Dr. Dre thing, but I think they just kind of just pass the torch and move along and not be so bitter. I mean, we did the list with Kumo D, and I know you had a lot of things to say about it, and you called him like, you know, bitter old man and and things like that. But there's a lot more cats just like him who just like don't want to see, you know, the new crop of MCs make it. And one could argue that that's us now with the drill rappers or the harmony rappers or whatever it is, the singy song guys who do this now. But I just don't see nothing like mind blowing about the hip hop that, you know, those guys used to do, Melly Mel and everything. Yeah, they started it, but it was too simple. The lyrics, the melodies, and it all kind of almost sounded the same. I love Marley Marl, but like you could tell instantaneously, like, oh, it's Marley. Like as soon as like it you know, nobody beats the biz.
So hold on. Over. So all them MC Shan jokes I done made, and now you saying that the bad music was too simple.
See, MC Shan, I like MC Shan. He's different.
Yeah, but Marley Marl produced all his stuff.
Yeah, but that's okay. But that's two different points. What I'm saying is that it just sounds alike. That there's nothing that like blows me away about the sound of the beats. But the lyricist, no, he's someone I think that's okay. But somebody like Melly Mel and like to a point Curtis Blow, I know he had great delivery, but lyrically these guys just they're not witty. They say simple things, and it just nothing from back then really, really blows my mind. Not even the message. None of that. It just doesn't blow my mind.
So y'all heard it here first. If you walk in the Q-Borough Cuts, you will not hear Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 over the speaker.
Unless DJ Howie T is playing it, because he's kind of from that era. But as far as like the lyricists, they got so much to say about like the guys that came after them, but I feel like none of them could stand toe to toe in a battle for real. And Kumo D, you know, he is battle tested, but it's not a deep pool of battle tested MCs from there that I would feel like that could stand up to like somebody lyrical, say like a Mos Def, or of course Talib, or even like Royce. You know,
So, is it fair to say that you find that era of rap boring?
I do.
You know what? I can't even fault you because those guys were a product of their time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we were alive at that time period, we probably would think that shit was hot. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But it's a parallel because I'm pretty sure you get the kids of today, they probably think that what we grew up listening to is, but well, they do.
They think it sucks. They do.
And we've heard the Lil Yachty's of the world say that he couldn't listen to Biggie for more than 5 minutes. We heard Soulja Boy say that, you know,
Illmatic is boring.
Yeah, Illmatic is boring. So I mean, I get it. I get it. I definitely get it. Like, you know, we didn't come like what? That's 1979.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't born yet. I mean, me personally, I could go and listen to that stuff, but I can only listen to it in doses.
Yeah.
You know, like like if hip hop was a buffet, that would be the part of the buffet table I take the least amount from.
I feel you.
But no, I get it. And you know what? That may not even be depending on who you ask. So like you said, you brought up Howie. Shout out to Howie. You know, you may say that to Howie, he may look at you crazy, but you say that to like me or, well, I don't know about QG because you know he's special, but yeah, some people might get offended and some people might actually agree with you. I try as a historian, though, I try to listen to everything, but as I said earlier, certain things are boring. I agree with you there.
Yeah, I like a couple joints like Funky 4 Plus More. Like, you know, I like That's the Joint. That's, you know, one of my favorite tunes from back then. There's a couple of joints that I do like. It's just you not gonna find me for more than 30 minutes listening to it. Straight up. I'm not. Maybe towards the 30, I'm like, nah, all right, get into something better. You know what I'm saying?
Understood. All right. From my fourth unpopular opinion. A lot of people gonna get mad at this next one, but I've always been the type of person on this show. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. And I feel, with the exception of us here on this show and a handful of others, there are no more true hip hop heads around anymore. What I mean by that is, y'all may claim that y'all love rap and y'all live rap and y'all eat, sleep, breathe, and live hip hop and rap, but y'all really don't.
I agree.
Like,
ain't about this life for real.
I feel like we're like the four of us, me, you, T.O., QG, we're about this life because even though like you may not like West Coast gangster rap and the early rap, and I may not be a fan of the conscious rap, when it comes time to have to listen to it, it gets listened to.
Yeah.
And for those of y'all out there who don't know, whenever we pick a topic for this show, if the topic is picked well enough in advance, or we got somebody coming up for an interview, 9 times out of 10, we go back and we listen to the music.
Mm-hmm. And talk through the week, and some of us have notes, you know. We do our homework.
Yeah. But when you, or like, even for example, shout out to the homegirl BB, she be doing her stuff. She's a hip hop head. She may not go back and listen to the classic stuff like we do, but she's very heavy in the independent game. Nice. So there are things that and that's another aspect of it. There's so many facets of hip hop. There's the mainstream stuff, which we cover. There's the indie stuff that she covers. And like, you know, and you go around and, you know, there are people who specialize in the underground, and there are people who specialize on talking about production. But a lot of people out here, they claim to be hip hop heads, and when you bring up certain things, either they lost, confused, or things that they should know, they don't know. And I feel like, especially the young kids, I think that they take being a quote unquote hip hop head, it's misconstrued. Because I feel like for you to be a hip hop head at all, there are certain things that are mandatory that you must know. There are certain songs and certain albums that are mandatory. that you had to have heard. Like, I find it unacceptable for somebody to call themselves a hip hop head, but you haven't heard 36 Chambers, you haven't heard The Chronic, you haven't heard Doggy Style, you haven't heard Illmatic, you haven't heard Ready to Die. Like, I feel like calling yourself a hip hop head and not ever hearing those albums is kind of blasphemous. I feel like if you're a hip hop head and there are certain things that are critically acclaimed and you say you can't listen to it and it's boring, I feel like, that's blasphemy. That's offensive. And a lot of these hip hop heads, they listen to things, they say things, they do things that just don't align with the culture.
Word.
And I really feel like, people use the term "I'm a hip hop head" too loosely.
Yeah, too comfortably.
Like because by their standards, everybody and their moms is a hip hop head now.
Yeah.
You fucking streamed the goddamn NBA YoungBoy album, and now you're a hip hop head. Oh, really? And then the other thing, and we brought this up on the episode a couple of weeks ago when we talked about, I know you weren't here for it, but when we talked about when we thought hip hop died, and like I said, people call themselves hip hop heads. Some people they've been born and raised in the Bronx their whole life, never heard a Big Pun record. Like, how is that possible? You're from that area. There is a mural of the man next door to the bodega you shop at. Like, how is that possible? Like, it's just like I tell you, in my neighborhood, there's a mural of Biggie. There's a mural of Biggie out here where I'm at. Do you like everybody out? Well, not everybody, but like certain things you don't even have to be a hip hop head to know. Like my mom, for example, my mom don't listen to rap, but when she sees Method Man come on her screen, she damn sure knows who he is. My mom don't listen to rap, and we'll get into a story right real quick.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, right? She don't listen to rap at all, but she sat down and watched the Super Bowl with me, and she knew by face every last person that performed on that halftime show. Even though that's not kind of difficult because if you watch Power, you know 50 Cent. You'd have to live under a rock not to know who Dr. Dre is with the headphones and such. But you get what I'm saying, though. So
Yeah,
imagine somebody who's not in the culture knows these people. So if you claim to, because when you say you're a hip hop head, that means you're submerged, you're immersed in the culture, you're deep in it. You claim to have a knowledge that somebody who's not in the culture, or somebody who is a casual fan or a listener wouldn't know. Like I would say honestly, the four of us, me, you, QGTO, our knowledge of the music is like a casual person is not going to be able to keep up with. That's why when we started this podcast, the original goal was to educate people, which I think we educate people every episode. But
yeah,
like you can't portray to be an expert or to be deep in the know, and you don't know nothing at all. Like even our guy Ralph, when we shout outs to Ralph and LDM Network and Raw and Ready, when we did that interview appearance, like Ralph don't know nothing past this. Ralph knows a lot of the old school stuff because if you go back and check that interview, it's still on Facebook, on our Facebook page, and the link is on our Instagram. But that conversation, he was able to talk about Method Man. He was able to talk about 80s and 90s rap, and he don't portray to be a hip hop head neither. And he was able to talk about a little bit of the current stuff. So, when you portray to be deep in the culture and you can't speak to anything or speak to certain things, I feel like you're a fraud. And as we know, since the beginning of time in hip hop, fakes and frauds have been a thing. But that's my little rant. I wish Tio was here to do the sound effect, but sorry for going off on a tangent. But stuff like that kills me.
Shit, no, I get it.
But yeah, man. All right, Rev. What's your last opinion for the night? What we got on tap?
All right. Battle rap ain't battle rap no more. Everybody rehearses. So
Go
So
on.
to allude to, something we're gonna talk about in the future as far as like freestyle and stuff like that. When I came up, it was imperative for you to know how to rhyme off the top of the head and to be battle tested and ready on the spot. I used to have dudes coming up to me just randomly just kicking rhymes at me because they knew that I rapped. If I froze or if I didn't say anything in response like hard hitting or good, that is a hard L. I don't understand how there's not categories of battle rapping now. And not to take anything away from like battle rap itself, it's dope. I know a couple of my homies who really love battle rap, and they have pay-per-views, and I know QG's one of them. But there should be a category or something where you just go straight off the top, and you just like how it used to be like a 106 in Park or like that's honestly the most mainstream thing I could think about, because they used to go off the top because they would see the competitor that day, not really have much background on them unless you're defending champ, and they'd have to just pretty much just gig on their outfit, they sneakers, the way they look, some small little racial things may come up, like Jin the MC, like he's Asian, so people would like make jokes about that and stuff. And I know it's a different climate now and people are more sensitive, but I miss that. I miss like just the off the top, you could tell that he didn't practice that. Now these dudes are like spitting verses, the crowd goes crazy, and then they say the same 4 bars or the same 8 bars that they just said and said it again. And they've done better now with battle rap, because what I hated about battle rap and why I refused to watch it before is the crowd, because they spent a lot of energy and a lot of audio trying to silence the crowd. And I get like when someone says something high, ooh, but some people like just shouldn't even be in the building or be nowhere near the stage, because you're taking away from the art of the MC. You're taking away from the performance, because this is basically what battle rap is now. It's a performance. It's just rehearsed verses towards each other. You got a whole month and a half or whatever it is to practice in the mirror and go over your rhymes, and so I just wish that battle rap just kind of either had like a category or you could just do it just the way it used to be, because to me it's just a little more genuine. I mean, I like the performance aspect of it. It kind of brings like a big fight feel depending on who the 2 battle rappers are, but they need to do a round or something where they just go straight off the top, because when I came up, to me that's battling, that's freestyling, is coming off the top of the head. No practice, no preparation. You may say like 4 or 2 bars that you might have written, but everything else was just straight off the top.
Understood. And being as somebody who, and I when Matt from No Limit dropped by, I had told him this in our interview, but I used to be in the circles in high school rapping, and part of the way they used to check you to see if you was really on your rapping shit, somebody would randomly just come up to you and be like, yo, let me hear a 16.
Word.
And and I know we're gonna talk about this at length in an episode down the line, but if somebody said let me hear a 16, and either A, you had nothing to rap, or B, you spit something that somebody heard you spit already, that kind of made you look bad. So I get, and I feel like, and like what you said, I feel like a lot of these guys, they're spitting rehearsed stuff. I feel like it's like sometimes I hear these freestyles or these battle raps, and it sounds like something that they stood up in the mirror and practiced 20 times to get it. So I agree with you on that. My last point may ruffle some feathers. Some people may agree, but I personally feel we got the best fucking hip hop podcast to ever exist.
Hell yeah. Shit.
Like, listen, if you're not a fan of Rap Lab, or you don't want to listen to Rap Lab, I feel like you real stupid, because we be we've had our issues through the years. I get it. If you go in the archive and you look at the runtime of some of these episodes, some of them are 2 hours, some of them are 3.5. Shout outs to Melina. I love you, Melina, but that the women's special that we did, that was like a 4-hour marathon. But still good nonetheless. I just had to split it up into sessions, but like we got a good thing going. And for those of y'all who don't subscribe to the YouTube, don't want to share nothing, don't want to listen because we not DJ EFN and Nori, or we not Joe Budden, or we not Rory and Mal, or any of those people. That's kind of messed up, because I think we wouldn't have been around as long as we have, and wouldn't have these followings in all these different countries we do if we wasn't on point. So yeah, that's my last opinion. It may be popular, it may be unpopular, but nobody got a better hip hop podcast than us, and that word is bond. That's facts, man.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so we come to the end of our little discussion here. And if you out there agree, disagree with us, DM us on Instagram at RapLabPod. Email us raplabpod@gmail.com. Or you can DM Rev. You can hit me up. Our Instagrams are down below in the episode description. But yeah, I'm curious to think what y'all think about our unpopular opinions, or even if you got one of your own. And don't forget to check that project, Codename Wrestling, Union, New Jersey, March 5th. We'll have it in our description and in our IG as well. So we'll get that info to you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So yeah, we'll catch y'all same place, same channels, same everything. All right.